Nix. How are you on this great Thursday morning? Jueves to some and just plain old Thursday to others. What's up, que pasa? What's going on? As you get ready for whatever day you're about to have or the day you deserve, why not try it out? Okay. So it's a bit of a somber morning for some reason. It seems like it's just very still. And I'm just going to go with the flow of that thing. I'm loving the fact that I get to see a whole family of, I think, groundhogs operating very close to me lately. So I've been putting fruit and things out so that if it does go by, it has a little something to eat beyond the cigarette packs and the trash that he might come across. So I put a little fresh fruit peelings and things of that nature out there so that they have something good to survive on, okay? So, what's up? Yesterday was recycling for a lot of people. So, definitely, definitely. Oh, just wanted to know if you noticed that I wasn't Kevin Gates. Because if it was Kevin Gates, you wouldn't ask that question. You'd be down for the bullshit. Right. Just wanted to know if you'd notice. Immediately, you understand when you know you have the stage and people are ready to run over you with a fine tooth comb. So you do understand they didn't come for guidance, they came to check your attempt. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. I'm not drinking coffee today, by the way. I'm drinking a little something different. Pumpkin spice inspired. Beautiful, too. Makes me think of October. Beautiful, beautiful, changing, ever changing October. That's when Indian summer comes in. It seems like it's supposed to be cold, but it's warm. Just like it seems like it's supposed to be warm, but it gets cold. And this is at the end of June. So we do know that climate change is really a thing. And taking care of the environment is definitely a thing. And don't forget, while you're taking care of the environment outside of you, take care of the environment that is inside of you. Let's keep going. So, yesterday I entered into the courthouse yesterday, and a bit of things just stood out right away. You could cut the tension in the air with a butcher knife, maybe a chainsaw you would need. That's how thick the atmosphere was when I went in. However, I started to think of one concept from the other. I went from ecru, which is off white, which means somebody is off. And maybe they were Caucasian, off white, okay? Then I got to the cream, right, which is the money. But then when you get to the money, you understand that egos follow the money, which means it's like eggshell, which makes it fragile. And what's more fragile than the human ego? So there is where I started. But the wow part was the little Tatiana with the bust down water wave who decided to rage bait me as I was exiting the courtroom with my young child. She decided to take her whole 5'2" body with size 9 feet and slam it into my child aggressively and attempts to get me to act in an unraged way. However, I was able to disengage from the little nutcase before anything happened. However, the sheriff did had to intervene because she was still shouting weird things as I'd stepped away from her and basically had already disengaged. So shout out to whatever that sheriff was doing in whatever capacity he was doing it at. Because in those cases, you can never be too sure who's doing what for what, right? So as I sat there, I watched the stage being set for quite a few people inside of the courthouse, and it's happening all around America. So beware when you do have to go. There are things and elements you do not know and will not be explained to you unless it can be used against you in a court of law. I did happen to notice how in how totally red the magistrate looked. She was very blushed. And I don't think she meant to spread it across her whole entire person. It was as though she was dipped in rouge mistakenly. I don't know. Maybe she was hot. Maybe she was under pressure. Maybe there's some underlying health conditions that she's not addressing. However, I did notice how very flushed she looked. So it was very good that I didn't end up having to sit in the room the whole entire time. But however, it kind of made me miss a little bit of the action, which I probably didn't need to see anyway, because it probably would have been something to distract me furthermore from my cause. A lot of things I noticed, but we're not going to go there this morning. We are not. But just know that on some unknown Venn diagram, there's a circle for you, there's a circle for them, and there's the truth right dab in the middle. That's a Venn diagram in case you don't know what I'm talking about. That part. Okay. So let's keep going. Let's keep going because it is what it is. So yesterday I realized that I made a spelling faux pas and I kept making it, but it was like my brain was trying to tell me you need to drop this E at some time when I kept introducing the I. So let's get back to it and let's clear that one up. So as I was spelling gate, I kept including and not including the E, but that was something that was a verbal prompt. It was like a mental prompt to me that when you do change words like this and it comes to vowels, when you pick up one vowel, you have to drop another one. This had two vowels that were doing the job, right? The A and the I. So the E didn't need to be there. However, I followed the E. And the E led me to the energy that is Gaithersburg. Is something going on in Gaithersburg? I don't know where you are. I don't know where you live. In most places, we have either a street that goes with a state and a state that goes or that circumvents a street, or they call it a park or something, right? So wherever your Gaithersburg is in your town, wherever you are, there's something that needs to be looked at, studied, or focused on, maybe in the terms of fraud, maybe in the terms of scamming, maybe in the terms of identity theft. Okay, so think about that as we go forward. If some people that are living in Gaithersburg probably are using a CPN or someone's else's identity, or they could be renting a room there so that they can stay away from the cities that they do in fact infect. I think I'm using my words right. They are renting a room so that they can hide where they are because they are close to the city that they indeed infect. Take that as it goes, as it resonates. It could be a health situation of infection, or it could be an environment situation of infection where someone would interject themselves into an environment with the intentions of projecting or poisoning the environment with miscommunication, propaganda, or fear mongering, in which happened in my case, unbeknownst to me, because I really wasn't really that interested in my immediate population. However, I did not know that they were beyond enamored with me. So the stage has been definitely set. We all agree that the eyes are on me. For whatever reason they're on me. Whether it be because someone wants to gain from it beyond me, or somebody just doesn't want me to gain from it because they tell themselves they are the master of my steps, in which that would be beyond my constitutional rights, without my consent, and definitely without my knowledge, because I would not agree to any such thing, as I'm able to maintain myself and I maintain complete autonomy. All right. So going forward, let's keep going. Birds of a feather do flock together. So thank you for that nice. What, you fell for the bait? Is you jumped straight in and you started talking about things that had nothing to do with why you should be here. Okay, so let's get us covered by the Lord. Father, I ask you to forgive those who know not which they do, and forgive me for my sins and the things that I may say that may come out of alignment. Please, Father, please guide my steps and bar my speech. Okay, so Lord, thou hast been favorable unto thy land. Thou hast brought back the captivity of Jacob. Thou hast forgiven the iniquity of thy people. Thou hast covered all their sins, Selah. Thou hast taken away all thy wrath. Thou hast turned thyself from the fierceness of thine anger. Turn us, O God of our salvation, and cause thine anger toward us to cease. Wilt thou be angry with us forever? Wilt thou draw out thine anger to all generations? Wilt thou not revive us again, that thy people may rejoice in thee? Show us thy mercy, O Lord, and grant us thy salvation. I will hear what God the Lord will speak, for he will speak peace unto his people and to his saints, but let them not turn again to folly. Surely his salvation is nigh them that fear him, that glory may dwell in our land. Mercy and truth are met together, righteousness and peace have kissed each other. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven. Yea, the Lord shall give that which is good, and our land shall yield her increase. Righteousness shall go before him, and shall set us in the way of his steps. Amen, Selah, so be it, so let it be. You know what I thought of, what I just thought of? Both sides of my birthday equal 11. Always adding numbers, always subtracting, always dividing, always. But never did I realize that 1111 was going to come to the total sum of 22. And that is my alignment. All right. So, while I kept the note short, let's get on to the tarot. Hello from Good Luck Road. I'm not crazy just 'cause you say so. You play the poor sport code. Too bad you didn't get your go. Too bad you didn't get your go. Too bad you didn't get your go. Yeah, so in case you don't know about Good Luck Road in Lanham, Maryland, that is a mental health facility that is directly associated with multi-specialty health care. And one good thing, one funny thing I remember about that as I say it, there was a retired football player that used to be in the office when I did have employment at multi-specialty healthcare. Crazy. Bruce Laird. He was awesome. I used to love how he just used to sashay through the thing, like not sashay. He just had this presence, and he'd come through with his 6'4" frame and just come through with his sports self, and you knew that you were in the place of sports medicine. So that's good. Shout out to the Laird family, however that lands in this whole scheme of information. Okay? So boom. It was wild when I looked it up because I had to figure out where this company come from, because it seems to be only professionals can talk to this place. But if you were ever in any contact with it, you have to go through a lot of bells and whistles. So that's a lot of red tape. So if you've ever had a situation where someone was trying to deem you not fit or trying to get power of attorney of you, they're going to try their best to seal all things and have a lot of hearings without you being there. But it's really the judge's job to have their due diligence and seek out these answers and this truth, or else they're doing a pretty bad job, right? Because why would you want to circumvent someone's rights if you are supposed to be the last barrier to keep a person safe? I mean, you do take an oath to uphold all laws of the land, because I mean, these judges aren't getting pennies. They're getting upwards of 100 and 200, and sometimes in some cases maybe 280K a year to make great decisions and to preserve humanity. So God forbid there's a judge out there making decisions not in complete good faith. They're not doing their due diligence to find out if these things or this paperwork presented is in fact true. Because then you have to wonder the mental status of the people going so hard to conceal something that's supposed to be the truth. All right. Okay. So I've seen it in black and white that my situation has definitely been tried, but the situation where it's trying to feed me into is quite insane. It really is. It really is an insane situation. So right now we have a retired warden that's basically trying to commit some type of insurance or fraud in the state of Florida, somewhere in Tampa, somewhere in Florida. There's supposed to be a foreign woman that he deals with. She's of the younger age, and I guess she can't handle the pressure. So they thought that they would divert some of her pressure to little old me, while there are other people trying to divert other pressures to me. That's one direction I know that's probably been tried, and it's definitely not true. So let's go forward as these people try to attempt to frame me for things that I do not know about, which I'm trying to figure out bit by bit. I realize that there have been hiring professionals in my wake to represent me. However, it's not me giving consent or signing these signatures. So someone needs to start doing their job, because I've been doing it and I see that there's somebody getting paid a lot of money and they're not doing the job that they're supposed to be doing. They're doing some other job. We'll find that out in the wash when things come out of the wash. Don't worry, because I'm not. Okay. All right, so we've got the notes out of the way. Let's pull the tarot. We fixed the spelling correction because it actually was a little note sending me to a little place called Gaithersburg. Those are like places like on the outer skirts of things, but the people who are on the outer skirts usually navigate the city very well, and they know, and it's like it's set up in a way to where these places are like boxing in the city, and you could just come off the highway right through and cherry pick a person and get on off the highway and then dox them and figure out how you're going to lay their life low so that you can elevate your life a little higher, if you understand what I'm saying. And this is the way in which some of the middle class are eating each other up so that they can definitely disparage and make people poor while they eat of the upper echelon. So this is definitely the Hunger Games, Squid Games come alive. All right, let's go. So let's get the tarot all shuffled up and let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. For some reason, there's a name, and he doesn't want me to say it because he doesn't even use it anymore. But you have to understand, the same way you feel desperate to take things from me that are mine, I'm desperate to keep my things, because who in the hell are you to take it? And do you have a right? No. You only justify yourself by means of you feeling the insecurity of not being able to build a foundation without using someone else's resources. However, I'm still here to use them and I need them for my kid. There are people that have been less than good to their children that are trying to basically scapegoat me so that they can go forward and still keep treating their children's bad but treating themselves good. Interesting. I find myself in a war of the groomers and the groomettes. The ones who have groomed them to believe that they are being protected while these groomettes run around fighting for protection. It's the weirdest war I've ever seen because nobody knows that they're not covered. If you get my drift. All right. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. Then we've got the Knight of Cups. It's a cup with nothing in it. It's silver. I wouldn't accept it, but hey, if that's what you like, that's what you like. Here I have this gold cup and it has mental clarity and it has clean water in it. I think I'm going to take this. This looks meh at best. And this here is like I've got two knights, a knight of pentacles and a knight of cups, and I have to decide which one is the best. So the mental clarity is knowing that everything look good ain't great. And just because a person asks doesn't mean you have to say yes. Either way, you can let both knights keep galloping along because, hey, you don't have to settle for a knight when you absolutely want a king. And there you go. No one had numbers here because this was just painting the picture. You see the Dark Knight? He's still a knight. Even if he has a little bit of pentacles, he's still a knight. He hasn't mastered anything. He has a dark side, which means you might get trampled on at his expense. You don't want that. Mental clarity is knowing that this knight is not a bad knight, but he's still a knight. He's not a king. So you don't have to demasculate him, but you also don't have to give him any either. Cardi B, where you at? Broke, don't deserve no. All right, so you don't have to just because they showed up. You can keep it going. If you do prefer a king, why not hold out for one? Because what they're going to say is, didn't she say she wanted better? Didn't she say she wanted better? And then they're going to try to push past your boundaries to make you accept less, but it's up to you to keep enjoying your no consistently and congruently until what you desire shows up. If you wanted a knight, you'd have picked them a long time ago. But the thing about it is, your credit score will go down socially and financially. How's about that? Hold on to those Capri Suns. So let's get into some tarot because that just seemed to be want to be a message to let you know you don't have to accept every offer. And you could take what resonates. Those knights could have been women. Women who have not mastered anything but giving to themselves without really giving to themselves. Because if you always have to compromise to get someone else to give to you, are you indeed giving to yourself or are you bending to the conditions in order to gain? You answer that, not me. What's up in Que Pasa? Happy birthday to those who are having birthdays. Congratulations to those who have had celebrations, weddings, graduations, anything, anniversaries, all those great things. And definitely my condolences to those who are going through less than the best, who have lost some people in the recent weeks and days and months. And shout out to those to those families who do deserve and need comfort. I send great energy your way. At the bottom, we got this sneaky bastard, and we've got the wands. So this is 97 and 79. I don't know who's born in 79 or 97. No, I might know a few people. I just don't deal with them anymore. Don't feel that social when you got everybody running around fighting for the 2 or the 4% when they're big wigs who are laughing at you because they're going to get majority any damn way. So we've got the Aquarius and the Sagittarius energy out here, and the sneakiness is getting old. It's like a worn out story. You see the battled warrior? Yeah, it's an uphill battle, and everybody's trying to win, but you're aging yourself in the process of it. I saw the shopkeeper around the corner. When I met him, he had black hair. Now, when I see him, every whisker on his face is white. It's as though he's aged from the stress of knowing he's a goddamn liar. And he uses that business to bullshit people. That's all right. He'll get no more money of mine. Beyond the fact that I can feed myself, cook a great meal, and I don't have to spend $30 on 6 pieces of meat, makes me feel good. So, down with the sneakiness. So, that's someone born in 79 or 97. Take what resonates. We've got Aquarian energy, we've got Sagittarian energy, and we have the moon, which is highly intuitive. All right, let's keep going. We haven't gotten to what I'm going. Oh, we have Sagittarius. It's your stage. Let's do a nice shuffle. Still, the sneaky bastard keeps coming out. It's the Knight of Wands. So, yeah, somebody's still being sneaky and he's still slinging that wand in hopes of getting the right fit to do the job. Some of you are not getting paid in money. Some of you are getting paid in peni, and that's very cheap and discounted of you. Be sure to go to the clinic. All right, Sagittarius, let's go. Death and transformation. How embarrassing for you. The Chariot and then the Knight of Pentacles. This damn knight keeps coming out. When are we going to elevate here? Okay, let's get on the upper echelon. Okay, so we've got the death and transformation in Scorpio. This is a Sagittarius reading, and we've got Cancer in the Chariot, and this is a 7. And a 7 is a completion of a cycle with the Knight of Pentacles. So someone is definitely dying unto themselves and rebirthing themselves to understand that there are levels to these things, okay? Every level, there's a new devil. So as we proceed to not give you what you thought you needed, let's keep going. So, Sagittarius, you are changing your scope of things, or maybe you realize that you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. So, something is moving in fast. Maybe someone's about to find out that the knight indeed will only be the Knight of Pentacles. This knight does not plan on getting any better or becoming the king. He's all right with having this start as a K, but not being a king. All right. So maybe you're starting to understand that you only deal with night energy. You only deal with the ones who don't get that far up, because if they get so far up, they'll lose interest in you, because for every king, they know they have to have a queen. And once they get to you, that's when they start differentiating, or whether or not you are the barrier. So someone is indeed waking up to the fact that they are the barrier to not only their own elevation when they enter into someone's life as a partner, they are the stagnation. This is a Sagittarius reading. Take what resonates. We have a Scorpio in the Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising. Take what resonates. Someone is starting to realize that they are the barrier in their relationships. They are the reason why nobody elevates. They are the person who would take someone's bricks and keep spreading it about the village, trying to build several houses at one time and never, ever getting to the roof. Don't let this go over your head. So someone is indeed the stagnation, not only in their lives, but in their relationships. And they're wondering why they never get to the high valued man or the high valued woman is because they indeed try to extort and what they try to take value out of every situation when they don't bring value to the situation. So it's kind of a catch 22. You get it? There's no way for you to keep operating like this and feel as though you're going to elevate at any given time. All right. So, moving forward and right along, this has been the Sagittarius reading. That is a 20, which is 2, and that balances out the polarities. That is the 13 plus the 7, which makes that a 20, and that makes that a 2, which is balancing out the polarities. You are the reason why the knights do not become kings. And if this is vice versa, take what resonates. The signs are it's interchangeable. The energy is interchangeable. 11, 11. Look at that. It's interchangeable. Just know you are the reason why things don't quite go over the way they're supposed to go is because you have misdirected energy. You shoot your arrows everywhere and you think that you're going to hit a target. That is not the way in which a king or a queen operates. They have to focus at some point. Although their reach might be far and they may have a lot of connections, they do indeed need to focus in order to get anywhere. And this is where your problem therein lies. You are not focused on yourself, you're focused on everything else. So you are the forever knight. You are service to the kingdom, and the kingdom is not service to you. All right, so let's get on over to Capricorn because, yeah, that's what it is. Woo! So somebody wanted to see somebody's broken heart and out in the cold. Broken hearted, life's not over. You can start again, but you're lonely, broken hearted. Life's not over. You should start again. I'm young, but I'm wise enough to know that it. Oh boy. Woo! Brandy, and I got all these goosebumps. Who sent that energy this way? It was positive, actually. But somebody's heartbroken and they're feeling out in the cold, and that's a 35 or a 53. Take what resonates, take the age. 35 or 53. We've got Libra and Taurus energy out here. By the way, I was on my way over to Capricorn, so try not to keep interrupting. All right. There are some beings that are a lot like me, but they do not operate like me. And that's okay. We're supposed to embrace our differences. Okay, so we've got the Empress, the abundance at the bottom. So Capricorn, King of Pentacles, Two of Wands, Six of Wands, which is 8. Someone is going through either karma or dharma. We have this interesting outfit here. Yes, we do. And we have Pentacles, and this is a king, not a knight. This is someone who actually does have the penchant to actually focus on one thing or other at a time. We don't know if it's positive, so let's go. So we got the Two of Wands here, which is good, which is trying to balance the polarities. Like I said, the Two of Wands. So this is an emperor trying to balance the responsibilities using hindsight and the view of the world and trying to use an aerial view, trying to go up and look down so that they can get a better perspective of everything. That is a good idea because when you have to make choices and you are an emperor and you have emperor leadership in you, the best thing for you to do as a leader is be objective. Just as much as you are subjected to things, you need to be very objective. You need to be able to take yourself out of things so that you can better understand the tools or the information in which you've been given so that you can make a better and a the best decision actually going forward to preserve yourself and your kingdom as you are the King of Pentacles. Okay, so the Two of Wands, Six of Wands, I got that. Six of Wands, we got Jupiter, we've got some female energy too as well. So we have a masculine that is also able to function in his feminine. He's actually able to take himself away from the situation and apply what he knows about females to the situation, knowing that things could get really messy. You know, in that little small interim, in that interaction, when the lady took herself and she, like, really, I mean, she aggressively pushed herself against my young 8-year-old nonverbal son. Okay. He's so sweet. He's looking, he's like, what the hell? He was looking like, Mom, she like, and I'm like, hold up. I addressed it right away. And the thing that stood out to me was she didn't even offer an apology to this kid. She didn't say sorry. She didn't even look to see if she hurt him. Her immediate thing, she never broke eye contact with me, which was alarming at best, because if you are interacting with a kid and you realize that you interacted with him wrong, the first thing for me would have been to look and see if I hurt the kid and apologize, because I did hurt a human being, right? Didn't have any remorse, just stayed on whatever her course was to say something immediate to me. So her immediate response was, I didn't touch your kid. I mean, she was so aggressive, but the thing about it, there was somebody who actually was there. And it was so funny because he looked like an older version of my son. He did. He was a fair-skinned guy, nice looking too. And if she was doing that to pull that man's attention, I guess in that instant, that was a bad look, because she didn't apologize to the kid, and she was hell bent on offending me. And he stopped and he was looking at my child, and he's looking at her, and I'm like looking at him, looking at her, look at me, and I'm like, yeah, this is what's happening. There was no reason for you to assault my child. It wasn't. But the thing about it is, you needed a reaction out of me so that you can say, I'm sensitive or something like that. But there was a witness to see that you did accost my child for no reason, and you weren't apologetic about it. And you carried it into the lobby, and where the sheriff had to interact with you on my behalf, because you were ready to start yelling at me, even though I had already disengaged prior to coming through that little engagement. So it was very interesting. So public recognition is here, and you got to realize that there are eyes looking at everything. While the stage is definitely being set for me and my sabotage, you do have to understand that there are other people that are also able to see what's going on. And that child did not deserve that interaction. So that's another thing that these kings that are here are looking at. They're looking at the interactions. They're understanding that, hey, I might not be able to cash in on this one, but that one, she's batshit crazy. We may cash in on that one. Take what resonates. All right, so we've got Aries and Leo here. So don't be surprised, and don't be selectively outraged. And that was the Capricorn reading. Take what resonates. There's an Aries and there's a Leo. The only numbers are 2 and 6, which adds up to an 8. So be careful the karma. Be careful the karma. Some of you want to be famous, but I don't think you want to be famous for certain things. Okay? All right, so the next up, we've got Aquarius. Hello, Aquarius. Hi. We know that Aquarius can be a hard sleeper because they can disconnect from anything at any given time. Even yeah, they can do it without being there Weird, but not. Depending on if you're an asexual or you're a deep thinker, you can understand given or taken what's going on. Okay, so we've got the Seven of Cups and we've got the Three of Wands, which grows to a 10. And the Three of Wands is the Aries Emperor energy. The Wands is basically the three stages of sight: foresight, hindsight, and here in the present, being able to take from the present. And we have a traveling thing here. We have an airplane here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, we have the airplane there, and that's just it could signify actual physical travel, or it could be just you traveling in your mind, visiting different events and comparing them, right? So, the Seven of Cups, someone is using the events to try to manifest a Seven of Cups in their lives. All this great things. I see jewels, I see good times, but I also see a serpent here in the horizon here. So you got to be careful the tricks and you wanting things and coveting things. So if those things are not yours, be careful, be ever careful, because what you say and do in a court of law can and will be used against you. All right. So we have that 3 7. Someone may be 73, maybe 73. They may be 37, or this is just the completion of a cycle of someone plotting on someone's demise or robbery, if we're going to just say it like that. That's Aries and Scorpio energy. We haven't gotten to an Aquarius yet, so don't tap out. Now we're getting to Aquarius. Those are just messages in between. All right, so we've got the moon out here, which is great. And then we've got the Ace of Swords, which is mental clarity and protection. So someone's crown is protected right now. Collective, you are protected from whatever mental magic or hoodie do illusion someone might be trying to do, like plant things in your trash can or take things out of your trash can in order to get your DNA and frame you for things. So pay attention and make sure you're familiar with your surroundings. Usually, the same people do the same jobs repeatedly. The only time when they start trying to switch things up is when they're trying to confuse the energy. Like when you start getting different mailmen all the time, know that that's not by mistake. They need for things to be out of order so that you don't get the algorithm of how your mail is supposed to go. Do keep in mind that they are tampering with the mail. There are people that are willing to mess up these wonderful jobs for a big old money grab that may or may not happen. This is why these people are risking these beautiful jobs like that instead of giving these jobs to people that actually want to work them in an honest way. Very interesting. Okay, so we've got the moon and we've got the ace and we've got the two of pentacles, which brings us to the two, because the 18 plus the two brings us to a 20, which means we're balancing the polarities all the time. We're balancing the responsibilities. Someone's going to get more responsibility because someone is not capable of taking care of their responsibilities in an impartial way. So someone might get more responsibilities because someone's going to be taking the long walk of shame due to them not balancing their responsibilities, house, home, and job. They are doing something that is throwing things of their home environment out of balance because they're doing too many things on the job. Or vice versa. Somebody might be doing more personal things and not taking care of the things that they're supposed to be taking care at the job. So someone may end up with more responsibility while someone else intuitively, who's that packing up them boxes. You know who's that with that U-Haul. You know what's going on. You intuitively know that because they came at you, collective, that they're having to move around, and that is the way karma is. And you have mental clarity. It is not a coincidence. Just don't say anything. They don't want you to say anything. They don't want to be found out, okay? They are hoping that they can get you so caught up in distractions and the distraction of them walking around your home, digging in your trash, attempting to leave things around and blame you for them, make false reports because really they're trying to keep you from the fact that there are actual things legally being done in and around your name, and they want you so stuck in petty land that you don't realize that there are big things happening behind the scenes. So pay attention. Pay attention. All right, that has been your reading for that there Aquarius. That is the moon sign with Pisces and Capricorn. Mouth is just a little. Whatever I said, just this was juicy. It was some juice. Hey, did I just serve somebody's tea? All right. So yeah, that was the two, and that's balance and polarity. Somebody's getting fired. Or somebody has to move, somebody has to relocate, someone has to pack it up and keep it pushing because they came for you, and they're not going to be able to keep doing the same things over and over again without yielding some types of results. It may or may not be in your favor or theirs. However, results have to happen. There's a cause and effect for everything. All right, Aquarius, let's get over to Pisces because we're done with you, right? You're the water bearer. You're the water bearer, right? You're going to control your emotions no matter what. So let's get over to this Pisces who might be a cusper. Let's check this out. So we've got the Two of Cups, and we've got the Ten of Pentacles, and we've got the Three of Wands. Seems pretty good. 2, 10, 3. So we've got 15. So we've got a bit of addiction. We've got a bit of fixation. We've got a bit of obsession. However, let's see if it's good or not. So we've got the Two of Cups in Cancer, and it's supposed to be the balancing of the polarities. So the Cancer is like the crab, right? But it looks sometimes like two fishes. It's a water sign, okay? And if you don't be careful, the Cancer will keep you in a very tumultuous emotional loop because Cancers, they operate best in emotion. Even though it may not be the best for them or you, they operate best in emotions because if they should become logical, that's not fun. They like more fun than anything. They like feeling more than anything. And that could be a thing, especially if you get too much of it. Too much of anything can be dangerous, right? So you have to be mindful when you get into this Cancer thing because you want equal give and take when it comes to your feelings. You don't want to be given until you are dried up. And that is indeed what an off-balance Cancer will do. They will pull you on your face with your emotions and continue to drag you as long as you're willing to go. Okay? So that's that in that card. And now we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is public recognition and abundance and wealth in certain ways in which public attention can get you. Now, public attention can either get you litigated against, or it could also get you a great lawsuit. It can also get you public stage. It can also get you public embarrassment. So be careful of social suicide, being so hard up for attention that you indeed counsel your own self in this here culture. All right, be careful of the eyes that you want on you. Be sure that you can handle the pressure. A lot of people don't understand when you opt to put your business in the streets, you also opt for some pushback and a few opinions. So be mindful of the things that you are willing to put out there, and be mindful of the things that you're willing to put out there about other people, because the wheel does go around it. It will come back on you. Because when you're so hard up to expose one other person, you have to be willing to go through not only the same exposure, but more exposure. Because why were you so hard up and overinvested in exposing some other person, right? Pay attention to the Tasha K and Cardi B situation. I said it. All right. So, Three of Wands, okay? Three of Wands is going within and trying to meditate and trying to think of the future, the past, and the present, and how this affects you. Sometimes this will cause you to travel in order to reflect. Sometimes you may need a vacation, but sometimes you just need time to meditate and think of the things in life. All right. So, 2 plus 10 plus 3, that is 15. So try not to be too engulfed in things that you can't come out for. A bit of air and a bit of restoration and relaxation. Too much of anything is bad for everybody. Cancer, Virgo, and Aries. This has been a Pisces reading. There you go. So let's get on over to Aries because we're done with Pisces. Hello, Emperor. How are you? Hopefully, you're feeling very well and objective today. Maybe you're going to deal fairly with the land. Maybe you're not. Let's see what the Emperor do. In between, we've got the Page of Cups and the Nine of Swords. So, someone's deep in their feelings and they're very, very hurt. They're getting sleepless nights or uncomfortable nights. Maybe they're sleeping on and off. Maybe they're a little bit going to be a little lethargic. Maybe things aren't going quite the way they thought they were going to go, but this is exactly how they're doing. It's like they are at the crossroads every night at the same time, dealing with the same things, the same dreams or nightmares, however it may be. It could be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Either way, I don't want to wake. It can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. Either way, I don't want to wake up from you. Hey. So we've only got the 9, and that's divine. So you're going to have to pray or go within because that's the only way to come out. Deep in the feelings, nearly to the bottom, that's a lot of pressure. Do you know how much pressure water is? When you get there, it's almost crushing to get to the bottom of the sea. That's a lot of pressure. And mind you, when you get down to the ocean floor, there are some very unsavory monsters, some underlying things like what's that? That cuttlefish and those nightmarish fish creatures that you hear about in stories because you'll never find yourself that bold is to go down to the ocean floor and deal with all that stuff. So that's how deep this person goes. They go where those creatures are. That's how deep they go. It gets pretty dark for them, okay? And what happens when you have a dark inside like that, it plays out in your life. It gives you nightmares. And if you're not careful, you start to be a nightmare for people here on this earth in pure daylight. Okay? So be careful of those dark people who remain in the dark, who always think dark and they think it's funny. It's not really funny. They're strategizing on how to pull you into the dark. Okay? Pay attention. So we're getting over to the Aries reading. That was the interim message. There you go. And we've got the 5 of Pentacles. Someone's out in the cold. Someone's a magician. They're trying to manifest them ways out. And they're stagnated because they're out in the cold. And they're trying to manifest themselves out of the situation that they're in. However, they find themselves stuck. That is very easy. Very simple. I don't need to do it. That was easy breezy. Yeah. Damn, that girl is good. Whether she knows it or not, she ends up using those words. And you end up going, yeah. Red alert. Anyway, 5 of Pentacles, Taurus. Then we've got the magician. But look, it looks like a little devil. And then we've got the Hanged Man. So we're going to say that it's a female energy that has definitely put a lot of people out in the cold and have stagnated things because they wanted what they wanted. And they were willing to be a bully, but they're finding themselves out in the cold. Maybe not physically, but definitely emotionally. They don't understand why they're locked out of the things that they thought that they were going to bully themselves into. However, this is why they're finding themselves stagnated. And hey, you can be a magician, but you can also bippity bop yourself out of some stuff. So Be careful how you're waving your wand. Everything ain't in Hogwarts. All right, there you go. And that was the Aries reading. We've got a 5 plus a 1, that is 6 plus a 12, that is 18, which is bringing it back to the 9. You better pray. Ha! Yep, and that's Taurus and the trine. So someone's dealing either with a triple earth sign, or they're dealing with a triple air sign, or a triple water sign, or a triple fire sign. And that can get a little tricky when you have too much of one element in your chart. It can make you a bit stubborn. It can make you a bit obnoxious. It can also make you a bit arrogant. It can. Me being a trine sign myself, you definitely have to have a delicate balance of things. So you don't want to be too top heavy. You don't want to be too bottom heavy. You want to be just right, okay? So if you're in the North Node, you know that you have a tendency to be a bit much, and people will look at you as though it's just not your problem, and it's not your business to know what other people think about you unless they're willing to say it to your face. Now, there are a lot of cowards that run around and they have very bold opinions. However, your opinion will not be respected unless it's directed. And that has been your Aries reading. I told you it was an 18. It was a 9, right? You better pray. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going to the Taurus. Yeah, baby, baby. Baby, baby, baby. I got so much love in me. Oh, baby, 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 baby. Are you gonna give me love? You got to love me, baby. Do you want my heart? Oh, that's okay. Hey, woo! That's TLC. Oh, yeah. Baby, baby, baby. I got so much love in me. Oh, baby, 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 baby. Are you gonna give me love? You got to, yay. Long as you know that I would give anything up to you, baby, that's actual and factual. Cause if I choose you to be with me, hey, you better not break us up. Hey. I love music. I love music. Any kind of music. I love music. Hey, it's a whole jam in here. Woo! That remind me of my daddy's Oxblood Burgundy Monte Carlo with the crushed velvet seats. I stayed in that car. Every time he started up, I come running, Daddy, can I go? Can I go? You knew he about to ride out and on a pimp mission. He'd be like, no, I'll be back. I'll spin back a little bit. When he pull up, he'd be like, come on, let's go. We go eat. I'd be like, yeah, I go with my daddy. Love it. Those passenger seat days were the best. Woo! Eight of Swords, Gemini. Somebody's definitely binded. The King of Swords has them binded. They are a fool. That was very interesting how that just went. My boy. So, Taurus, you've been binded by a fool. Whether you're a man or a woman, you have been binded by the King of Swords. The King of Swords has definitely binded your mind. He has definitely told you something, fed you something, let you drink something, or fed you an idea that you ran with, and you have become the fool, taking chances constantly on his behalf, not knowing that it is on his behalf because you believe that is you that is going to fare well because of the decision. However, you don't even understand that you are the one that's going to get the back end of the deal because he's already used you as a contingency plan in case he has to just throw somebody under the bus and keep it pushing, because people don't operate like that without contingency plans. Just know the word contingency is a thing. All right, so someone has been binded by a king of swords and they're a fool to forever keep taking chances. It looks like your nose is open. Your nose is either open. Maybe they romanced you financially, or they romanced you emotionally. Either way, something has been swirled up in your mind to make you think that this is going to go in your favor some way or somehow. However, you just keep on being naive, because what you don't see here is this cliff with your eyes closed, and your eyes are closed, dear. You and your pets, whoever you decided to recruit with you, that's a cliff. I just want to show you that is a cliff. 0 steps left. That is a cliff. You might want to open your eyes and close your nose, because maybe somebody's got your nose open. Romance can do that. Romance can blind you, and really heavy romance with financials can blind you. If you are blinded by money, a person can definitely lead you down the wrong way by offering you a lump sum, not realizing that if you were to stay the course that you had already been on, you would have gotten there and probably beyond there. But because somebody presented you with a quick money grab, you jumped out there. Jump in out the window with this one, and you will fall. There is a cliff. I just showed you pending danger. Don't shoot the messenger. All right, so you're binded. You see, you can't really see what's going on. So remember how they say blondes can be dumb? Sometimes you get to thinking like a bimbo, even if you're a man with waves or no hair. Sometimes you get to thinking like a bimbo. You can do anything. Sometimes confidence can override the truth, and that's a very dangerous truth to know. Let me repeat. Sometimes confidence can override the truth, and that's a very dangerous truth to know. So this King of Swords may be the confident one, but they're also the one with the contingency plan. So you better make sure you have a contingency too. All right, so it's only an 8 out here, 80. I hope to God it's not an 80-year-old, because they don't give a shit who they throw under the bus. They got one foot in the grave anyway. Who cares if the other foot is in jail? Either way, they're still going to make sure you go before them, because they're going to even pull on your, I'm too old to go to jail. I can't be doing time at this age. You do it. But you still got life to live. Fuck that. Don't do shit for the homies. Take your old ass to jail. Do your damn time. You are the mastermind. I hope this helps. Other than that, that's 8. That's karma. Be sure to try to stay on the right side of karma. It's called dharma, if you should get there. So don't become the binded bimbo in your own life and realize that you've made some really dumb decisions based on love, loyalty, and money. Because loyalty is for dogs, and you see how they get treated if they're not with a humane person. That's why we say, God bless all fools, animals, excuse me, and babies. That has been the message for the Taurus. Uranus? Fakes. I was just looking at the sign there. That's what that is, Uranus. Okay, so Gemini. What's up? What's going on, Jim? I am the Jim that I say I am. I am the Jim indeed. I am the Jim that I say I am. I'm not the Jim in need. As long as you try to impede in me, mighty go come to me easily. As long as you try to impede in me, you're gonna meet the enemy. Hey, woo! That changed all the words, didn't it? As long as you be impeding me, you're going to meet the enemy. Okay, so somebody's barking up the wrong tree and someone doesn't like what they see going on. So it looks like something is about to happen. This is an interim message before we get into the gym message. Blind faith, and somebody's going to end up heartbroken, and the judges will be cleaning it up. They will make something out of whatever's left in these carcasses. And this is the thing you don't know about judges. They have a far reach, and you have to really be easy, especially if you're going to throw their reputation under the bus. They will salvage what's the rest and keep it pushing. Don't know if you need to know that. If you're not the one with the majority of the power, it's called contingency plans. That part. You ever seen that movie called Masterminds? It's the funniest darn movie ever. I forget what the actors' names are, but they are hilarious. It involves it's like a bank heist. They robbed an armored truck, and he went out of town, and he thought he was hiding, but he was the scapegoat, and he had to figure out how to double cross them back because they were going to feed him to the law and take the money. So it's a situation where someone is definitely trying to frame someone who they feel as though is less than intelligent, less than emotionally intelligent. So be careful of the level in which you are in this plan, because if you are deemed dumber than a bag of rocks, sure, they're going to make you feel smart at the moment. But are you? Are you really? You're going to have to take account for that. And your arrogance is definitely going to be replaced with embarrassment. That's the side note. All right, so let's get into this Gemini reading, because let's get the rest done. We started off in Sagittarius and we're going to end in Scorpio. All right, so we've got this Two of Swords coming back out. We have the Tower here now. Come on now. We have the Tower here in Gemini and the Nine of Cups. So there's a Gemini. Boop, 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 boop. Woo. Hold up. Hold up. Let's do some counting. So we've got the 2 with the 16, which is the Tower. Somebody's blindly going into a tower moment. They don't even see this shit happening. They're going to wake up and they're going to see themselves going down. I'm going down. I'm going down when you ain't around, baby. My whole world's upside down. Sleep don't come easy. Boy, please believe me, when you've been gone, everything's going wrong. It's going down. Down. All right, so 9 of Cups. So someone, don't know who, there's a Pisces who's definitely on guard for this 9 of Pentacles. They're guarding it with their life. Definitely. They've got the red shoes of confidence on, and like I tell you, sometimes confidence can override truth, but sometimes confidence can make you deliriously believe that you're living a truth while you are outrighteously living a lie. Don't let confidence be your downfall. It turns into arrogance, okay? That's arrogance. Okay, so someone is doing the 2 of Swords thing. They're leading in blind faith. They're like, look, if I don't look, it's going to come out the way I want. This is what they're manifesting. They're like, look, if I don't look, if I don't touch it, if I don't go near it, I just throw energy and I just do this and I do that and I don't go near what I'm trying to destroy, everything's going to work out in my favor. So they sit there guarding, ever guarding. You know, I've seen guards fall asleep while believing that their eyes were wide open. And that's when the thing happens. When they think they're most on guard, they're somewhere in dreamland while the bank is getting robbed, or while the inmates are getting out, or while they're raiding the medicine cabinet. You get me? So while this person is guarding one thing, they're not guarding other things. Pay attention. Okay, so someone doesn't know that there's a tower moment about to sneak up on them. And this is the thing, when you're so focused in one direction, you have no idea what might be happening. And I think this is where cardinal directions come in. You know, north, west, northeast, that sort of thing. So pay attention because there are other directions that other people can come. And that's called more than one way to skin a cat. And we have those numbers, let's do it. 2 plus 16 is an 18, and we need to add the 9 to the 18, which turns that into a 27, which turns that into a 9. And we know that the 9 is divine. So while you are praying, you better hope that you don't be praying on your own downfall. Click those heels because we're definitely not in Kansas. We ain't doing no corn. Take what resonates. And the signs were Libra, feminine Libra, whether it's a male or not. Sometimes men get a bit bitchy when they're not getting their way. So it could be a man, it could be a woman, it could be a woman in masculine energy. And we have the Libra and the Pisces. Did you two hunch? That's a cesspool waiting to happen. Anyway, let's get on out of there. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. That was the Gemini reading, and we have an understanding that someone's not paying attention to the whole picture. They're having a tower moment that's about to happen. Okay, so let's go over to Cancer. Woo, we have the star here. Is that a cusper or not? We have a Cancer here right after Gemini. Are you a Gemini, Cancer, cusper? We can't tell. We don't know. Let's go into the mission. So this is a Cancer reading. We have Aquarius energy, we have Cancer energy, and we have Leo energy. We don't know if it's going to be strength or resilience, but let's see what the star says. This is the star energy. This is main character energy. This is a person that is supposed to be controlling the emotions while letting their light shine and their light glow. And this is someone sitting at the base of a tree contemplating these cups. There are 3 empty cups, but there is one clear cup that has something in it. And they're contemplating how they're going to distribute these next 3 cups. So there's some main character energy that is contemplating how they're going to redistribute. And they are being, no, I would say resilient, but this seems like this is a loop. This is like a infinity type of thing. This is a loop that's continuous. So they continue to be the main stars in all these cups' lives, and they still have to redistribute from one cup all the time. Eventually, this gets tiring, doesn't it? So you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting the same results, especially if you're getting on the older side of things. So maybe you're not going to keep wanting to support the same group of females. Maybe you're going to get another group of females, but eventually the same operation will wear you down because it's got to be exhausting keep redistributing coins, especially when they're not yours. So how are you going about getting them from where you're getting them from, because it has to be a full job trying to redistribute people's coins. Yeah, someone's stuck in a loop. It's an infinity loop, and maybe this is their karma to be stuck in a forever loop where they have to keep redistributing. And the thing is, if they should ever stop redistributing, someone's going to be upset and someone's going to throw someone under the bus. So they have to be very resilient and strong as they keep going through this, because if someone should not get their fair share, shit's going to go down. That is your Cancer reading, and that is Aquarius and Cancer and Leo, and this was a Cancer reading. The number is 17 plus 4, which turns that into a 21, plus 8 turns that into a 29, which turns that into an 11, which intuitively everyone knows this is getting tiresome. Someone wants to be free of the infinity loop. When you get an older and you keep doing the same things that you started when you were younger, it hit a lot different. It looks like a 50-year-old that's been on the block for 40 years. What are we doing? Where's your 401k? What is your retirement plan? Are you just going to keep switch hitting? Let's keep going. All right, Leo, what's up with your funky self? What's going on? All right, we've got the Page of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. We have no numbers out here, so let's keep going. Page of Pentacles is the fresh, it's the growth. And then we've got the King of Cups, which is sitting here balancing the masculine and the feminine all at the same time and just seeing what the hell is going on within the streets up in the home. And then we've got the Knight of Wands, still trying to ride in, but it's fiery nonetheless, but still trying to ride in. What are you going to do? I don't know. There are no numbers out here. There are all elements out here. So pay attention to all of the elements as we go forward and use our discernment. Discernment is a key here because we have no numbers to go forward on. Unless you want to count the cards, in which there are three. We see pentacles, we see a cup, and we see a wand, which is three out of four elements here. So there's a missing element. That's all I can say about this. There is a missing element. Oh, yeah, the truth. Okay, that part. And that was the Leo reading. When you show up, don't forget to show up with the truth, because the lie can only withhold you but for so long. And that has been the Leo reading. Let's get on over to Virgo. What's going on with our surgical doctors, with the people who like to get their hands dirty and keep their smocks clean, or the vice versa? They love to get their hands dirty. Yeah. So let's keep it pushing. Let's keep it pushing. In between, we've got lots of lines of communication. Don't forget some missing mail. Then we've got some people that are doing this thing where they're using the drafts. They're not sending out because they know that if they send it out, that's also a line of communication. They're using drafts to communicate. They're using a shared draft folder. They're writing things, they're not sending them, but other people in the office can share it, can watch it, can view it without sending it, without sending out any tremors. So there are various ways of communication. Someone might even be writing letters without a return address. That might be a thing. Someone also is doctoring up communications and wish to try to catch people on. You know, they're creating QR codes. That's the notary I'm thinking of, right? That's creating QR codes. That's also be able to create links in order to steal people's money, little small bits at a time, so that they don't go to jail immediately, just after time. Okay, so this is a person who doesn't feel great about their appearance. They are not too attractive, but they're not ugly, so to speak. They might shame their own body. They might not be great with their husband doesn't help because he's always flirting, and they play as though they allow the flirting, but honestly it hurts them deep inside. But because this man has most of the benefits, she's going to play along and hate everybody that he speaks to and seek to destroy them, because she's not going to pull him up about a damn thing. She's just going to destroy every woman that makes his eyes go around. Damn, lady. Damn. Okay, and yes, the King of Swords, there is somebody who's witnessing that. Someone's going to wake up and realize that the person who they've looked up to, or who they've respected and had high honor for so long, is a sociopath. It might even teeter on the serial killer side, because some of the ways in which they've done these things, some people have become off this earth because of the situations they've set up. You have to pay attention to women who are that insecure, or men that are that insecure. The men, they actually do it themselves, but the women, they are very crafty, so they might push someone into doing it for them. If not, they will do it. Don't say that they're above anything, because they can get in these streets and get just as dirty as these men. Okay, so let's keep going. Virgo. We have Virgo. So we have the androgynous thing here. We have the binding thing here. And we have the Fool. All right. So we have a woman who's here. She's hidden in plain sight. She's operating as a woman, but she is acting as a man. She's very, very foolhardy and she's very aggressive behind the scenes. Nobody knows because she plays the forever matriarch. Oh, I'm so nice. I be doing so much for the boys. I do so much for the family. I do so much for the community. I do this, I do that. But really, you're using your position to position yourself in ways in which no one would ever think that you are so diabolical. However, you having certain positions puts you in a place. Being in proximity to old, retired, or active police officers gives you a thing. Being able to hang with your sorors, even though you are jealous of a lot of the things that they have, you are jealous of a lot of their shapes, you are jealous of their BBL, even though you don't need a BBL. It's your face. It doesn't quite do the thing that you want it to do. Even when you put on makeup, maybe you have a skin condition, maybe your hair isn't quite do the thing when you wanted to do the thing. However, you take it out on other people and they don't know it's you. They think it's everyone else but you. They would never suspect you because you're on everybody's side, right? No, you're in everybody's business. You're able to dox people and you have access to things and you so innocently do it because you help. You help. I'll make that QR code for you. I'll set up that link. Do you want me to make flyers? Do you want me to do your party for you? Yeah, in the course of doing all that, they're doing a lot of other things, okay? So you just beware of people who take less than from their partners and you see it not knowing that they're doing a lot to everyone else because they feel hurt inside. But they can't hurt their partner because their partner is their bread and butter, so they don't mind putting the bad juju on you. They really don't mind putting bad juju on you. They don't mind trying to make you lose your mojo because they never had anything, okay? So they're willing to do anything to look as though they're an equal partner in their situation, even though their partner has no idea that they are definitely coloring outside the lines when no one is looking. All right, so like I said, binded by this androgynous acting person. Binded, it could be a male because there are some males that come in as a sport coat and next thing you know, they want you to pay for a sport coat and they're sporting everywhere else. So definitely beware of those mental bindings that might happen over insecure lovers. Some insecure lovers are the ones that always have to keep attention around them because they need to keep the distraction from themselves and to you. They like distraction and chaos. We call them chaos agents. A lot of people call it just distracting. They like to do the cloak and dagger. They like to have you looking this way while a whole bunch of stuff is happening that way. So you be careful of the players that be. And don't you be no fool and let them lead you off a cliff. Close your nose, open your eyes. All right? Roses, just prick yourself with the thorn. The pain will make you bring you back to reality. Sometimes pain brings you back to reality. Look at Mary J. Blige. Look at Wendy Williams. Can do, couldn't do shit. Who knew? All right, so that was the Virgo reading, and we've got the 8 and we've got the 0, which is that 80 years old. So somebody's been doing this for a while or since the 80s. Yeah, either it's an 80s baby or somebody's that's knocking on a of 80. Yep, somewhere like that. So beware of the karma and the dharma of being hooked up to such individuals because sometimes they will push all of their karma on you. You will be reaping everything that they sowed and you have no ideas because you came into proximity with them. You agreed into something, you took part into something, and you have no idea that you were the contingency plan. Hope that helps. All right, so let's get on over to Libra because Scorpio is the last one and we are done. It is 5:28 on the clock. Wonderful, wonderful there. 5:28, somebody's birthday, 5:28 or something like that. We got the 6 of Pentacles, which is equal give and take to the universe. We got the 767. Hey, how about that? I'm not a demon. So 6, 7, and then 20. 6, 7, 20, okay? So somebody's 67 or 76 or born in each of these years. Either way, we're going to say you're of the age of maturity, where you should know that fat meat definitely is greasy, and if you have to tell a lie, you're definitely going to have to live a lie. All right, but the truth will come out, whether you're on the upside or the top side, or the downside. The truth will definitely shake at some point in time. So someone is definitely wake up to finding out that they are under judgment. So as the equal give and take goes on to the universe, and they have been trying to till the land, or someone has been trying to till the land. Some of us have been trying to till the land because we have given equal give and take to the universe, and all of us are under judgment. All of us, even me. I'm not above being under judgment. Guess what? My heart has been tried and weighed. Guess what? You'll see the evidence by the fruit that I bear. And you'll also see the evidence by the fruit that they bear. Because everybody is under judgment. Nobody is safe. Everybody's under judgment. So just know that your life is basically going to reflect the decisions that you are making. Okay? Hope that helps. And that 6, 7, and 2, that is, excuse me, 13. 13 plus 20, that is 33. Ascension. And that's why judgment has to happen, to see if you are going to ascend or see if you're going to stay stagnated and create the same loop that you've been sitting in. All right, there you go. There you go. That was the 33, turning that into a 6, which is still equal give and take to the universe, because you will show exactly the fruit of your labor. All right. So Scorpio, that was the Libra reading. Hold up, that was the Libra reading. I showed you everything that was there for that judgment. It was a 67, the 6 and the 7. That was Taurus. Mercurian energy, and what was that damn 6? I didn't put the damn thing away so fast. I'll find it. Oh, here it is. It was a Taurus. The 6 and the 7 was two bullies. Okay, it was double dirt. I'm sorry, not double dirt, double earth sign. So it's definitely fixed. It's a fixed situation when it comes to this judgment. Okay, all right. So that was that. So let's do last but not least, Scorpio. Hey dear, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing today? How you doing today? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing today? How you doing today? All right, so we've got Justice and Temperance, and then we've got the Nine of Pentacles coming back out, and she looks gorgeous. I love it. I love it for her. And we have Libra, Sagittarius, and Virgo energy here in this Scorpio reading. We have the 11 for Justice, we have the 14 for Temperance, and we have the 9 for Pentacles. 11 plus 20 plus 14 is 25. 25 plus 9. Let's count. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 31, 32, 33, 34. 34, that's 7. That's a complete cycle. And here we have. So justice is going to come by enjoying your temperance and taking care of your 9 pentacles. You're not there at the wish fulfillment yet, but you are traveling on your way, slow and easy. It's going to win this race for you. So remember to have temperance. There are people who are rage baiting people. There are people who are trying to catch you outside of yourself so that they can put you in a bag. Okay, so be awares, be awares. There, be careful, be quiet. They're hunting rabbits in my Elmer Fudd voice. So be careful of these Looney Tunes, because they're certainly out here and they're wacky. They're definitely wacky and they're definitely loony. So don't be a maroon and don't be sucker and succotash. Okay? Don't come for me, because one of these Looney Tunes definitely came for you. Have a good one. This has been Nyx. Later. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Somebody needs to be entertained and told the truth at the same damn time.